Yeah, sure, why not? Right click that gallery. Well, that didn't work. Yes, it took me to the took me to Stone Face McLaughlin. Champion bio? Nope. Okay. Yeah, AoE auto attack that resets with other abilities. So wave clear. He'll have a really good shove. Especially with yeah. His Q specifically. Because I feel pretty sure you can line it up so like when the winds travel, they hit the melees and then they converge on the ranged, and then the range will die and the melees will be like half health. And then you can just smash those melees. Yeah, I feel like he's like a better version of Lissandra at this point. Where Lissandra wants to like shove and roam, and Galio shoves, if not like probably about the same speed, but then his ult can just take him there like instantly. Yeah, this one frightens me. He's combined his old W and his old, and I mean, yeah, he also even the channel can't be interrupted. So I mean, the counterplay to this is don't be in range and don't try and if he has flash, be aware. Flash on you every time. So, but it's nice that if the enemy team has like a Braum or an Udyr, that you just can't pick Galio. That was the worst. You ult and you have a Braum on their team, he takes you this passive, and then you just get knocked out of it in like 0.75 seconds. That felt atrocious. Mm. I to say because the whole idea of Galio is like is an anti mages are supposed to be a niche pick. So I feel like if there's ever a case for Galio is like pick ban, I feel like he's overtuned at that point. Kind of like Cassidon or Ramus, or like people who fit into like specific niches, you pick into specific comps. Yeah. So yeah, it's atrocious. He can jump to the moon and back and one shot you. Yeah, I was reading that thing because like they're talking about buffing Cassidon, and someone was like, "Give him his range on his ult back." It's like, please no. Like, you're just gonna re-enable the monster. Yeah, it's monstrous. Yeah. Now it's like that's a little flash, which helps. But I like his E a lot. Galio's E.
Justice Punch.
Justice Punch. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Galio's name should actually just be Chad. Just release him as Chad. Swole, chiseled stone Chad. He feels like a frat boy. I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, I'm Galio's like weird ass, like it's like weird ass sorrowness. He's like, hi, hey, I'm here. Two or what? A bird, two stone. I can't remember Galio's jokes now. No, because they're yeah, his E is like a little mini channel kind of. So it's yeah, yeah. I like it. Yeah, I like it how they essentially like made a gap closer that cannot be used as a getaway unless used like immediately because it's very easily body blocked and it's really easy. It's telegraphed as hell too. This whole little jump back and everything. Yep. I mean, yeah, like it doesn't prevent damage. It's like it's not have a shield, it's damage reduction. So if they're gonna die, if they're at like 200 health, they're gonna die. Whereas like Shen would save my 200 health because it's a fucking like 900 health shield. It's a little silly, but I feel like this is Galio will fit a really good niche with counter engages. Like if any team has like a diver that goes in first, uh you can ult whoever they go in on, and then inevitably your team will move back and their team will move forward. If you ult at the right time as Galio, like that's prime time because your the position of your ult doesn't move with the person; it sticks in one area. So if it goes on a diver, you ult in that position, your team moves back, and their team moves into where your ult is. So it works great as a counter initiation. Yeah. I was fucking waiting for a Galio to like ult on a teammate like right next to him and jump straight up and straight down. Oh, that'd be hilarious. It'd be beautiful. Yeah, I, I'm happy to see Galio. Like he's definitely gonna see some play. If not for some wonky, weird on hit builds, now that he has a on hit with his passive. Every champion that has like a on hit in their kit is gonna go through this weird like I'm gonna build static shiv. You can't stop me. Yeah, so yeah, yep, because that's the only part of the kit that really can be overtuned, and I feel like it might be a little. I don't know. It definitely his Q does a lot of damage, surprisingly, and he has some. His is kind of like Rise in a way. Like Rise goes with mana, Gallius goes with MR. Like he doesn't get AP from MR anymore, but his passive and his what is it? His passive scales with it. His W damage reduction scales with it, and his yeah. It's not. Hey, am I facing a Rumble, Elise, and a fucking Cinder or something? I can pick Galio, and only then. Darn, I'm hyped. I'm down. Down with the sickness. All right, let's skedaddle on. Needed. Yes, I can agree with that. Specifically, I tried jungling with Aatrox. Post this, it is actually atrocious. Like, yeah, like he has to go top lane. Uh, it's it's really bad. Yeah, like it got to the point where I never thought I'd be saying these words, but I almost died in the jungle as Aatrox. Because you don't get attack speed, so like you're at like even with like my 16% attack speed thing that page that I run, like I don't attack fast enough to proc my heal reliably until I get like my devourer, and yeah, it's like it's just not great. Like you can't really you have to gank early if you want to work that. Well, hey, that'll help you with your red buff, and then you die to raptors. So, red, blue, green. It will. Needs to do three camps, tip three. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Potentially, Aatrox can do the raptor start really yeah, easily too. Well, if you have help from your mid lane, so it's yeah, like the raptor start requires like you have a mid laner with an AOE ability, chucks it at raptors to help you out a little bit because raptors will slaughter anyone level one. Uh, and if you're stacking your Q level uh, early enough, then I feel like you can do it. If you probably smite the chicken, which is not optimal, but I don't know. Yeah, yeah. He's a Darkin. Don't worry, it's Aatrox. Aatrox is Darkins, and Darkins are Aatrox. That's the big change. This has been like the real, yeah. Even before rework, like the worst part about Aatrox is you never really wanted to use your revive passive in combat because if you came out of combat, you felt so worthless. Like you yeah, no attack speed, which means you can't survive or do damage. So you sit there and you're like, well, if my knockup's up, I can do that. That's about it. So it's good that he can be a champion post revive. There is something like that now. Like you get 20% of your blood well per person you hit with your ult. Yeah. Yeah. So like, there's something you could do on ult. You died. You didn't use your ult till you used your revive, and then you had to ult immediately after it. But that just felt bad to do. Even then, you're probably gonna get bursted right after it. So you're just like, oh well, all right, maybe not. No, go ahead. This felt more like a bug than a feature. So it's good, man. Cool. Neat. We're very needed. Mhm. Probably C tier. Like you pick them. I don't know. You pick them if you want to play Aatrox. You don't pick them to winning. Like like it's not like God. I want to climb solo queue. I should play Aatrox more. It's like I have an urge to play Aatrox. I guess I'll play Aatrox. Like Aatrox never been like a go-to champion. He fits. It's really hard to balance like the champions that rely on self-sustain, like Vladimir and Aatrox, and yeah, yep. So yeah, so I feel like the Aatrox and Vlad are kind of doomed to be in this weird limbo. So I don't think Zach's really entirely reliant on his passive, besides jungle clear. Like once you get past jungle clear, it's more about your E and your massive disruption in team fights. But your blobs do help. Swain, yeah, but Swain has a caveat of being able to heal through Zonias, so it's a little easier. So like even if you're, I don't know, Swain's a wonky one because he's also kind of snowbally. Where like if he gets ahead, then you're not killing him, and he will kill you eventually. And yeah, it's like you're not building Luden's Echo on Swain. Like he's not gonna be a burst mage. But I don't know. The drain tanks can be kind of. I like playing them, but they can be difficult to balance. Usually they're slightly subpar. Probably. Yeah. It's hard to I don't know. Such an attack speed reliant champion, so when you don't have attack speed, it just feels kind of poopy. Yeah. Yeah, he gets in that catch 22 where it's Aatrox wants to build tanky so he can be a drain tank, but then he doesn't do any damage. So then he wants to build a little more damage, but if you build any damage, you're not tanky enough to survive to sustain it with. So it's just catch 22. We'll see. Yeah. I, yeah, he just feels old. Like, like his Q and like he's just like an incredibly telegraphed champion. So like the only way Cho'Gath works really well is in like the chaos of team fights where you're not going to see a little circle on the ground and all of a sudden you're knocked up. Like Ray Rupture's a great ability if it hits, but hitting it is a fucking if you're playing against a potato, it helps. But a lot of the time it's difficult to land if someone's thinking about it. Um, yeah. I was like Cho'Gath's good into people who don't have like a don't want to go all in on laning phases. Like people who like try to whittle people down. Like Cho'Gath's all in for that. Like because his passive is great lane sustain. Yeah, so like tank v tank, Cho'Gath loves. Um, even in some situations like it's like I mean, he'd use Yasuo as a example because most people shit on Yasuo with uh early levels, but Cho'Gath, I don't know. He has good base damages and great scalings, but his abilities are just kind of wonky. Yeah. Yeah, he's not an engage. Like he isn't. If you have a lead with Cho'Gath, it's kind of hard to push it because you need people to be in range of you, and you need to hit your Q, which is again a doozy. Yeah, I was like tank Cho'Gath. His R does absolutely absurd amounts of damage now. Like post rework, like tank Cho'Gath does damage that AP Cho'Gath did with his ultimate. Like you're sitting there like, oh, it's a casual 5,000 health Cho'Gath. Like this guy's not gonna do much. Like he'll be a CC bot, but he won't do too much damage to me. Then he hits you with that fat 1K ult, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, where did my health bar go? But there's some problems with that scenario. A, you're in melee range of Cho'Gath, which if you're like an 80 carry in this scenario, it's not something's wrong there. B, like Cho'Gath, yeah, like Cho'Gath should never be in range of people to do damage with. So yeah, yeah, he's great on capitalizing on mistakes, but that's the problem is that people need to make mistakes for him to be good. So he should be in a decent spot. That Terrify range is actually pretty big because I don't know if you remember the days of support fiddlesticks back in the season 3 or 4, one of the two. I think it's season 4. Yeah, yeah. One of those changes that really kind of killed it was the nerf to Terrify's cast range. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. It is around there, but it made it so that most AD carries could outrange his fear. Yeah, so like it just felt really bad to play. So this might help bring him back in the bot lane, which is an interesting kind of. I'm kind of excited to see some portal sticks around. Yeah, and then the big change for jungle is that drain change. The only problem with this, in my eyes, is that drain actually costs a lot of mana. I'm pretty sure it's like scales up to like 110 or something like that. But so like, it's pretty mana intensive. And so say you're doing Raptors and you Dark Wind. Yeah, it's like it's intensive. So if say your Dark Wind knocks Raptors down to like 50 HP or 50% HP, uh, and you just got done draining down the big Raptor, you, like, hey, I can drain these Raptors now, like off cooldown. That's a good change. But if you drain every single one of those Raptors, like you're out of mana. Like, congrats. You can't clear the jungle anymore. Maybe there's a honey fruit for you, and you go to it, and other jungler contests it, and you die. Like, well, that's a shame. You're right. And I was like, as much as it's like much as yeah. It's like, do you have blue buff? Check. Are you a champion? Check. If not, then I mean that's a shame. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, because it's like you see these on paper and you're like, man, this really helps out his clear. Like, good God, like he'll be speed clearing with this now. Yeah, it's like he can't clear without sacrificing. Like, if you clear your jungle with no mana, they're like, yeah, you did it. Like, now what are you gonna do? You walk up to a lane gank with no mana, and you're gonna auto attack, throw your little dinky scythe at him. So I don't know. That's what I was kind of thinking. Eh, Just rush frozen heart. I don't know. Actually, not too bad. Actually, not too bad. You ult in, and slow people down a little bit. Potential, but I don't know because pretty sure it works like Luden's Echo, where you get 10 charges every time you cast an ability. So, assuming you expend your first Runic Echo's burst at the very beginning of the camp, you use all your abilities. You got like maybe 30 stacks of your Runic Echoes. Like, yeah, like you can't reliably proc Runic Echoes on the same camp twice. And this change is made so that you can use Drain on the same camp more than once. So I feel like that doesn't really have a whole lot of impact on it. Yeah. So overall, hooray for maybe support Fiddlesticks being back in the meta. But that is about it. Jungle Fiddlesticks will still be okay. Yeah. It's like subpar. Come on. It's true. It's he's pretty bad. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, I'd say overall, just try him sport. Don't take him out of the jungle for a little bit. Yeah. Mhm. Ooh, that is a question I cannot answer. Mhm. Uh, I mean, Fiddle Six can't last hit under turret reliably, and if you can't last hit with Drain under turret, like you suck off a minion, it's gonna like lose just about enough health. It's gonna die to a Terra Shop and kill it. I don't know if I'm wording that right. Like he can't like yeah, his Dark Wind will take the wave to about half, and then he auto attacks it. That's it. I mean, it's like other people can outshove him by a little bit, and that really hurts him. So if his I feel like Rice is might be out of that one now. Yeah, but yeah, it's like they're in there that place because they can either shove well early or they can trade well early. Like level two cast all in is gross. And Oriana can Q shove pretty reliably. And with her auto attacks, she can shield herself from trade. Yeah. So I feel because like Middle Six was like I don't remember like the post. I think it was the mid mage update. They kind of hit Phil Six a little bit. It made his Dark Wind bounce around a bunch of extra times. Yeah, they brought it back. That's because his he could wave clear a lot more reliably and poke a lot more reliably. Because his poke and his wave clear share the same ability, which is another. it- It's also a downside because it's either you use it as either A, I'm gonna poke you, or B, I'm gonna wave clear. Which and if because if his Dark Wind wave clears, that takes away from his poke, and if it pokes, take away from his wave clear. So I mean, it's you're kind of hurting yourself whichever way you use it. But he's got great all ins. Yeah, I mean, hey, but exhaust no longer reduces attack speed. That's pretty big. Hey, yeah, Lulu is an anti fiddle. Jump in, glitter lens, and walk away. It's yeah. He's also entirely vision dependent. So I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you're ulting his fiddlesticks and the Caitlyn just casually places a trap down right where you're ulting, and you just ult around to a trap, and you sit there, stand there, really like, oh hey, look at my crows, they're here. Yeah, try my support. Try my support. Yeah, try my support. Not against uh, like an Alistair, but some of I don't know, man. He can drain the cannon minion for some of that regen. Yeah, come on. Yeah, bring back the mana regen page like you were talking about. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. He has so many. He has a lot of problems to work through. A step in the right direction. Still probably needs more. I'm assuming that. Oh, so you can like throw a rock mid jump? Is that what I'm? Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, yeah. It looks like can I spell it during? Yeah, so like you start your crunch and then you hit Q, and like so you throw a rock while jumping. It's some Space Jam shit right there. You just fucking yeah. So I mean, cool. I mean, it's like it looks cool though. It speeds up his burst. Might catch some people off guard, but I mean, I feel like that's never been a problem with Nar. Is like it's not like oh darn, it didn't. If only I had less or more time to react to his damage. Like Nar's not a burst champion, so you're right. Where have we been this whole time? Naive to our lethality Nar. I don't know. But the health regen buffs are pretty big though, because yeah, personally, like if you're in a losing matchup as Nar, you can't build rage to go into Mega Gnar and like quickly, like your boomerang gets it like see like 3 rage per 5 seconds. So I mean, yeah, and like you get shoved off a wave, you're at 50% HP, feels pretty bad, and your health regen is such ass that like it doesn't feel like you have any. So like, you have no sustain unless you're doing like 5 pots to lane. That's no. Yeah, that's a nipsey. So I feel like, and you don't spend enough time in Meganar to feel like his health regen be like, yes, like I feel like good thing I'm in Meganar for the health regen. Like yeah, it's not really one of the strengths you're looking out for. It's pretty gross. Easy, right? Ooh, yeah, so it's good. Help him out his landing phase. So it helps him out in the bad matchups. And uh, maybe like I feel like he'd be okay because I feel like the fervor changes are really good for him. Not as good like not, old Nar abused the old fervor because mini Nar I forget fervor ramped up to like 118 or like 9. Yeah, it was like some or 96, one of the two. Regardless, a lot of on hit damage, and mini Nar could abuse that hard. So that's kind of why Nar was abusive. Was you build him tank, his main Nar does a shit ton of damage still because hyper and fervor, and you're bulky as hell as Mega Nar. And if you can coordinate Mega Nar really, he's a great team fight. So I feel like fervor changes might help out a good bit. Maybe against Rumble, perhaps. As like an even lane, like Nar's not going to shit stomp it because Rumble's pretty strong right now. But go even and possibly out team fight him late game. Yeah, I feel like he'd probably be. He's an okay pick. Some like champs are better than him, but he's not bad. He's there. Good. Yeah. So the last patch was unkind to Misfortune as a whole. Like, granted, the old Misfortune queue was absurd in every which way. Where it's like, hey, if you happen to kill a minion with it, you're like level 9. Like three, they take 3/4 of their in burst, and you're like, well, I guess I can't lane anymore. Like that's cool, but it's like it needed a nerf. But that was her laning phase. Like, so when they got rid of it, like, entirely, it's like, well, I mean, now I'm actually just an old bot. Like, I'm used for my ultimate, and that's it. Yeah, so I feel like oh, yeah. I mean, these are good changes. I don't want it to be overbearing, but I want it to be have some impact at least. Yeah, yeah. Like, team fighting's never been a problem for Misfortune because your R exists. So, it's getting there, getting to positions where your ult can be useful. And she had no problem getting there before. 'Cause good God, her landing phase was great. So hopefully this put her on a okay path. Also, yeah, because it seems like they kind of want to push her towards a crit build too, which is weird because she is an entirely caster in my eyes, a caster AD carry. Yeah, I was like, I mean, yeah, you your ult is what you're primarily focused on, and once you ult, then you're moving in for auto attacks, and your ult does scale with crit, but I mean, it scales better with lethality. So, and her ult outweighs her auto attacks in my eye because her love tap, her passive, it doesn't crit either. So it's kind of anti synergetic. That would be gross. They would need to reduce some love tap damage for that to happen, but I would be okay with that. So, because it was too good. In my eyes, it's pretty too good. Yeah, but Last Whisper shouldn't have an impact against like squishy champions in my eyes, which it did prior. I'm okay with it now. I feel like Last Whisper's in a good spot as it is with more Doms and more. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I feel like Last Whisper as a component is like Executioner's Calling. Like, it's good. People should build it and kind of keep it there as a component. Will they? No. Yeah, because yeah, that's another thing. Like, 'cause 80 carries, if you're a crit 80 carry, you can't afford to deviate from your path. Like, you need, like, say you're an Essence Reaver 80 carry, you need your Essence Reaver, you need your Rapid Fire Cannon, and then you need your Infinity Edge to boost that, and then you need your Last Whisper item after that, and then maybe your BT or GA. But like, since crit building crit makes your mid game just ass usually, you don't want to deviate further from that. Like, oh, here's a Last Whisper, so now my mid game's even more because my crit comes online later. So it's kind of a funky catch 22 again. Yeah, yeah. Lulu's always been bully support, and Caitlin's a bullying 80 carry. So God forbid you're like a Sivir in that matchup and you just want to die. So yeah, Yeah, for anxiety. Yep, I agree. Illusion's not bad though, but if you he's got a funky build where you go Blade and King first, which deviates from the Essence Reaver conundrum. I like the Blade of the Rune King change on him a lot, actually. If you rush that, it's a bitter. Anyway, back to Misfortune. Yeah, that's me. Cool. Support Misfortune buff. Hey. So bring Misfortune a little further up. I was like, they want to make it so they're pushing her towards the crit build again. Fire cannon. Say, hey, look what you can do. Rapid fire cannon. Eh? I was like, I see what you're doing, but I don't want to. It's like Black Cleaver is just so good on her. No. As she says, like as a champion, she synergizes with items that aren't 80 carry items, which are a little funky. Yeah, because she's a caster 80 carry. She's not meant to be crit based. You're trying to make her a funky crit. So if they can somehow pull it off, I don't know how. You do you, Riot. Yeah, you're shoving a square block into a circle, little circle hole. Like eventually you'll get there by fucking breaking it the square. But hey, you'll do it. So I don't know. Okay, makes me look less bad when I play Oriana, which is good. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's always been like the worst. It affects solo queue Orianas where like you put your ball on like a Rengar and he jumps out of your E range and it just snaps back to you and you let yourself and everyone's like and the missing pings come on and you're standing there like I brought great shame to my family. Yeah, it's like you just stand there and it's like yeah, that was bad. Yeah, now you can miss a little bit less. Cool. It's nice, but okay. It's an okay change. Good. Feel free to fire away. Yeah. Another thing to look at is that uh yeah, as like that's what I kind of want to point out is that at level one, it's the same attack speed. So and if you're not putting any points in W until level what 13, 14. So or like you have 1 point W until that point. So this isn't a change until late game. Unless you start maxing the second, which is I mean, sure. Yeah. I yeah, you used to do that. I used to do that at one point. Was like Q max into W, leave my vault as it is, and just hope I don't have to use it more than once, and get some great attack speed. But it's again like they're trying to push some 80 carries away from the more traditional 80 carries. I guess this is great if you do that. I guess because Quinn would have to be an essence of 80 carry because she desperately wants CDR. Yeah, no, it would be a kind of poopier, a little doolier. I don't know, a shitty version of Lucian. You just liked being a bird. Yeah, that's a good thing to point out actually with Blade the Rune King. That's pretty synergetic. Max W second, and hope for the best. Yeah, yeah. Like before they changed fervor around, sort of buff. That's when like they had like a bunch of like on hit champions like Timo and Kale and like the sort of there's like that Doom build going around, whereas like the Gunblade, Nasher, or no, because the Gunblade, Hurricane, Frozen Mallet, uh, like all that, like a tanky on hit, and it got to like an apex where like no one could duel you because you're tanky and you hurt and you sustain. Maybe that kind of thing rolls around for Quinn because 60% total attack damage it kind of ruins assassination. Good bit. Yeah. So this kind it kind of poo poos on her roam, especially. So I don't know. It's hard to tell what it's gonna put her. It gives more counterplay, which is Riot wants. Yeah, like her R is now it's more so Moby Boots than it ever was before. Yeah. Yeah, it's like if you yeah, it's like, some quick math. Like if you have 300 AD, which is like a fair amount, your Sky Strike's gonna do 120 damage. Because there's no base damage to it. It's just the scaling. So at this, yeah, it's like why even have Sky Strike at that? Like just cut it out and give me a little extra base damage on Q or something. Yeah, I don't know. Like it, I don't know. It kind of reduced her R to Moby Boots. So I have no idea where it's gonna put her. To be fair, because it's yeah, you never know. Coming soon. He, yep. So when they changed Varys' Q around, they made it uh anti-synergetic with CDR. So they made it so like if you popped blight stacks, then it got to where your old Q was. Your old Q CDR. With this one, you can get it lower than it was before, but I feel like that's not really a problem because with the last set of nerfs, lethality Varus is pretty much out because you can't get blight stacks reliably from that far of a range. So you're basically a shittier version of Jace at that point. So yeah, and I like the essence reaper Varus. Like this doesn't really do a whole lot to him because I know some Varuses will do Emax and then like they'll leave Q like for last, and you're not even charging up Q because you're more focusing on auto attacks with that build, just to pop light stacks pretty much, and so you can it's basically yeah like if you can pop light stacks, it's like effectively makes it so you can pop light stacks much more often if you're going Essence Reaver. So yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I was like, attack speed was has been really good with Varus, but lethality was better. Yeah, so I feel like attack speed Varus is still good in my eyes. I I, I like playing that a lot. It just feels good, feels groovy. Yeah, yeah. So I think this kind of puts him in the same kind of realm as Kog'Maw. You've created an immobile tank buster with more, yeah, probably a little less damage than Cog, but a little more utility. Yeah, I'm okay with these changes. Hey, come on, some good one. Uh, well, all right. Ooh, are they still purple? Who knows? They're magenta now. They're more of a violet than a purple. All right, not important. I like this change. Yeah, because yeah, it's this opens up yeah warlords to be an option on more people too because it, it's because lifesteal is like the way you shut down lifesteal is either you get grievous wounds or you build armor because think about it, lifesteal you need to do damage to get health back. You build armor, you're not doing as much damage, you're not getting as much health. So armor really shat on lifesteal. So with this change, it makes it so like if you're in a mid game team fight, you're Caitlyn, say there's a Nautilus on the enemy team. He's got a Sunfire and Ninja Tabby. You're doing about 75 damage per auto attack. You're not going to heal 30 damage. And this time you're going to heal like, I don't know, what is that? 40, probably like 200. You're going to heal 40. It just makes it so it's more consistent with targets you're hitting. So like if you hit a minion, you're not going to get, and you hit Nas, you're going to like 10. It's going to be like, hey, you're consistently getting like 30, 40, 50, which it's good. It's something that you can kind of more calculate a little easier instead of being a crapshoot, being on who you use your energize attack on. Me too. Good. Gets a seal of approval. I'm not sure what I did. Okay. Fiddle 6 buffs. Yeah. Yeah, blue, red, and disconnect from the game. Nexus Siege. I play it twice. Yeah. Mm. Oh, that's a big one. Fixed a bug causing Victor's Chaos Storm to fizzle on death. That one's been talked about for a long time. A lot of Victor mains being angry about that one. So that's good. Hey, they're good. I can't wait for Alistair to be meta again. Just to smack his fucking cowbell. Boom, boom, boom. It's so obnoxious to lane against. Dear God. You just walk in a lane and you hear that familiar noise. That's all he does. He doesn't attack minions. He just sits there and plays the fucking cowbell on. Damn. Double lift runs riot. What a twist. All right, so I think that's about it. Overall, a lot more buffs than Nurse, which is I like seeing buffs. I like seeing more buffs than Nurse because I like I like them bringing up non-meta champions instead of poo-pooing on OPs. Yeah. Yeah, come on. These guys are top tier now, no doubt. Jesus. What a world. That's a world I would not like to live in. Jesus. Oh yeah. Come on. We're 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 poor. We can't do that. Darn. Mm, you still think Jace is a problem? I think he's okay. I feel like he's okay top, and he's above average mid. I feel like he's okay. Like them to trim a little bit of power off Cass. Ethiopia. Just like a little bit off her all in level 2. That'd be great. Dan do a lot of that. And yeah, no, she's just you can't trade against her if she lands her poisons. Yeah. I would like to see in the future a slight nerf to Nautilus as well. Yeah. Soon.tm. Yeah, yeah, he's level still killing people. They'll probably give Lulu another 2 patches, then nerf her again. I don't think she is. Yeah, I think she is okay. I think like because I don't know what like your Mantra Shield. Yeah, like late game, like your arm Mantra Shield's like half a locket. Eh. I mean, not more than like a Zyra. Like, like there's more oppressive. I feel like she may blur that line a little too much with between supporting shields and aggressive um, shove. So maybe I could trim a little bit of damage off or trim some shields up, depending on where Riot wants her. But I think overall she's in a pretty good spot. I suppose. I'm okay with her being supporty. I don't really want to see her as a mid. Yeah, yeah. I feel like as an identity, Karma should be support. But it is really fun to go for like a Luden's Echo build and manage a Q people. Just watch them explode. So I don't know. I had 2 different things I want. It's not really a problematic AD carry. Yeah, it's a bit obnoxious. Jin's still there. Yeah, me too. I think AD carry is actually in a decent spot. Bar maybe Ezreal being a tad bit too strong, actually. Yeah, because you pick him in every scenario because he's a safe slippery AD carry. He can out damage a good amount of AD carries from a distance. Poke, get all ins. He's just got a bad early game, but I mean, he's a tier champion, so kind of how it has to be. So maybe trim a little bit of damage off, like they added a whole ratio onto his AD. You can probably trim that back to like reduce all ins a little bit. Like he has like yeah, he has like a lot of hidden power to him. He has a lot of natural inbuilt attack speed. He sort of does really well with on hit with Triforce with his Q range. I don't know. He's got a lot going for him. He's got it going on. Yep. Mhm. Agreed. Also, a little side thing. This is kind of neat. Like you see that like that little like in the top right corner. It's like it's past 7.6 notes and it lists everything like champions masteries. You can like click on like to the right like champions and like it drops everything down the little menu. And you can click on things and it takes you to them. Right. That's pretty cool. Right. Good job, patch notes. I think yeah, I think Maokai's a problem. His early laning phase was really bad. He needs 2 Qs to clear black line minions, and he'll get shoved in with melees, so he can't really do anything early on. Still a great tank late game, but it's hard to get him there. Nautilus does his job better for the time being. A little bit. Yeah. I take away. I think his damage is fine. I take away his a bit of his shielding, if anything. Maybe on like how frequently he can trigger it, because late game he gets like a 400 health shield like every 1.5 seconds or something like that. Can, uh, if he can reduce it with his abilities, so it can be overwhelming. So maybe a trim like instead of like 1.5 refreshing to that, be like a 3 seconds or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm okay with like rewarding good play, but I don't want to like it's that thing where it feels better to make a good play and be rewarded for it than make a good play and be like, well, here's a bronze medal. Like you tried. Like it feels good to know that you're playing it well, playing a champion well. So good. Yeah. Overall, I like to see these types of patches more often, where it's little buffs to more insignificant champions. So bring them up. Less missing pings in Oriana games. You heard it here first. More so. It's consistent. And it's nerf to Kalen, perhaps Jin. In a roundabout way, I suppose. Where is Tristana? Haven't seen her in a long time. You would think she'd be in the meta with like first tower blood being a big thing, but she's not. Psh, psh. Yeah, I feel like you can maybe pick her if enemy team doesn't go like a shoving support. Like they pick Braum. You're like, hey, you pick Karma to help Tristana shove. Then it might be able to work. I can agree to that. Yeah. I think the game's approaching that too. Yeah. Yeah. How do we draw out World's watch time? Brilliant. Make everything late game. Yes. I'm fine with that 'cause I love watching late game team fights. Me too. Some satisfying by those 84-minute slugfests. Those are exhausting games. If I win, I'm done. If I lose, I'm done. It doesn't matter. It's just I'm tired. I don't I don't want to be in this game anymore. Get me out of here. All right, so that's all. Ooh. 2 weeks next Tuesday. No, no, next Tuesday. What is that? Not patch notes. April 4th. That's when it happens. Okay. Anyway, we're out. Toodaloo.